If you are still struggling with your IELTS essay writing, this video is for you. Here are 4 techniques that will transform your IELTS writing preparation. Number 1, practice generating ideas. Now, let me ask you a quick question. Who's the greatest writer in the history of the English language? Well, if you do not know, let me tell you. It's William Shakespeare. I am sure you heard his name at least once in your life. He's arguably the most famous author of all time. In fact, he didn't just write plays and poems, he even invented words and phrases we still use today. Now imagine this. If William Shakespeare, the best writer in history, came back to life and we asked him to write an essay about the advantages and disadvantages of social media, for example. Do you think he would do a good job? No. Why? Because he has no idea what social media is. Social media did not exist in the 1600s and the 1700s. So what does that tell you? That tells you, even if your English is the best, if you have no idea about the topic that you want to write about, you are stuck. There's nothing to write about because you don't know anything about the topic. That's the trap most IELTS students fall into. The problem isn't always your English, by the way. It's your ideas. And that's why this step isn't just step 1. It's step 0. Like before even step 1. Now you might be wondering, but how can I know what IELTS topics to prepare for? That's a really good question. But I've got good news for you. IELTS topics are often repeated. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not mean repeated word for word. Of course not. But they are connected. What do I mean by this? Let me explain. For example, if you've read about the causes and consequences of the problem of pollution, you will find it much easier to write about traffic problems, for example. Why? Because you already know that pollution can be one of the results of traffic problems. So you've got a ready-made idea in your head. That's how it works. The more familiar you are with related topics, the faster your brain connects the dots. So you are going to learn a lot of ideas about different topics. And if I ask you something related to one of these topics, it's going to be easy for you to generate ideas because you have a solid foundation. And trust me, it's not as hard as you think. Once you learn to generate ideas about the top 20 IELTS topics, for example, trust me, any new topic will be very easy for you to generate ideas for. Because you're gonna get these ideas from the ideas that you already have. All what you have to do is just to tweak them a little bit to suit your new topic. And because I care about you, yes, you, my lovely beloved student, I'm sharing a special link to download a PDF file with the most common IELTS essay topics. I'll leave it in the description of the video. See how much I love my students? I love them a lot. That's why you should be liking the video, leaving a comment, and also turning the notification bell as well. Because I care about you, you might as well care about me. Now, after you download the file, pick some of these topics like education, environment, health, technology, and brainstorm 3 to 5 ideas for each one of them every single day. Trust me, it's like a muscle. You're going to be building your idea muscle so you are never caught off guard, which means you're never going to be surprised in the exam. You're going to be 100% ready. On the exam day, you'll be ready to write like a pro, even if your family name is not Shakespeare. Technique number 2. Practice writing the same type of essay. Repetition is magic. What do I mean by this? Let me explain. In IELTS Writing Task 2, we know that there are different IELTS writing topics, like education, the environment, transportation, and so on. But there are also different types of essays, like opinion essays, discussion essays, advantages and disadvantages, problems and solutions, and more. Now here's the mistake most students make. They write one opinion essay today, then jump to a discussion essay tomorrow, then an advantages and disadvantages essay the day after tomorrow. That's like switching gears every 5 minutes when you're driving. It kills your momentum. instead of doing this, do this. Stick to one IELTS essay type at a time. What do I mean by this? I want you to write 3 opinion essays in a row. Then move to 3 discussion essays. Then 3 problem and solution essays, and so on. So you stick to one essay type and you keep repeating it. Keep repeating the same essay type, but on different topics. Why is this important? That's because when you repeat the same structure several times in a row, your brain locks in the pattern. The way you express your opinion is going to be repeated. The way you develop your ideas is going to be repeated. The way you write the introduction is going to be repeated. The way you write the body paragraphs is going to be repeated. The way you write your conclusion is going to be repeated. So you will start to notice the structure, the pattern. Then you will start to remember it. And before you know it, you are writing fluently, almost on autopilot, without even switching your brain on. But if you keep hopping between different types, you will lose that repetition. And what you learn will not stick. So always remember, repetition in a short period of time is pure magic. So stick to one essay type at a time, drill it, which means keep repeating it, and let your writing level skyrocket. Technique number 3. Read, memorize, and imitate high-scoring essays. If you wanted to become a great footballer, like Cristiano Ronaldo, for example, would you just grab a ball and start kicking the ball randomly? No, of course not. You would watch a professional player or professional players study their moves and try to do exactly what they do, correct? Well, writing works the same way. You don't learn to write great essays by writing blindly. You should learn by studying greatness. In other words, you should learn by reading high-scoring essay and then trying to copy them or imitate them. Here is what you need to do. Find Band 9 or Band 8 IELTS essays for each essay type: opinion, discussion, problem and solution, advantages and disadvantages, and then choose one model essay that you love for each type. Like for the opinion type, choose one essay that you love, you like the style of. For the discussion essay, choose one model essay that you like, an essay that feels natural and clear to you. And then I want you to use it as a blueprint. Blueprint means like a template, a guide. I know it's not clear. Let me make it clearer. Let's say you found a brilliant Band 9 essay on the problems and solutions of global warming. Global warming, by the way, means climate change. Now, if your real IELTS task, for example, is to write problems and solutions of high crime rates. So here we have different topics, because one of them is about global warming, that's your model essay, and the other one that you're trying to write about is about crime rate. So different topics, but we have the same essay type because both of them are about problems and solutions. Good? Good. So guess what? Now, you can reuse the exact same structure. For example, you're going to be using the same way of writing the introduction. So if the model essay is writing the introduction, for example, using 3 sentences, you write your introduction using 3 sentences. If the model essay is writing the conclusion using 1 sentence, write your conclusion using 1 sentence, because it's the same essay type. So you will be using the same way to write the introduction. You're going to be using the same format to write the body paragraphs. You're going to be using the same style to write the conclusion. All what you have to do is to swap or switch the content or the words that are related to the topic from global warming to high crime rates. Like the words that are related to the topic of global warming, you're going to obviously change them and you're going to replace them by words related to high crime rates. And boom shakalaka, you've got a high quality essay built on a proven frame. And this is not cheating, by the way. You're not copying, you are learning the craft. This is how great writers grow, by the way, by absorbing the style, rhythm, and strategy from the best. So here is your mission. Read top scoring essays, but read them aloud. Like read them not just with your eyes, read them and you should be hearing yourself when you're reading them, so they stick in your mind. and memorize the parts that you love. And to be completely honest with you, sometimes I even memorize the entire essay. This will help me to imitate the structure when I write my own essays. And because I care about your success, again, I'm gonna be sharing with you a link in the description with a Band 9 model essay that I wrote myself that you can start learning from today. This is the same method I teach all my students in my coaching programs. I always tell them, stick to one style per essay type. Do not keep changing the style. Do not reinvent the wheel. Just learn how to drive it like a pro. Technique number 4. Memorize high-level vocabulary. Smart, not hard. Here's something you must know. Your IELTS writing score is based on 4 marking criteria, by the way. One of them is called lexical resource, which is just another fancy way of saying vocabulary. If you want a high score in this marking criterion, you can't keep repeating the same words again and again and again. That's because the examiner needs to see that you can express the same idea in different ways. That's what shows a real command of English. Now here is the golden strategy, and pay close attention. When you write an IELTS essay, your vocabulary falls into 2 different categories. 2. Topic related vocabulary, and these are words that are specific to the topic that you are writing about, be it pollution, environment, transportation, and so on. And the second category is the type related vocabulary. And when I say type here, I mean the type of the essay, like discussion, opinion, problems and solutions, and so on. These are the words that match the kind of the essay that you're writing. So we have topic related vocabulary and we have essay type related vocabulary. 2 different categories. Still not clear? Let me make it clear. Imagine your topic is about social media. That's the topic. If this is your topic, you will need words like scrolling, posts, followers, notifications, TikTok, algorithm, and so on. But let's say the essay type is advantages and disadvantages. Now you need words that are related to this essay type. For example, instead of keeping saying advantages, 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 you should have words that mean advantages, but they are not the same word. So you can use words like positives, pros, upsides, benefits, and so on. And instead of repeating the word disadvantages all the time, you need to learn words like negatives, downsides, drawbacks, risks, cons, and so on. So these are words that are related to the essay type, advantages, disadvantages. Now here's the kicker. The topic related vocabulary changes with every new essay. So the words that you're going to be using when you want to talk about social media are not going to be the same when you want to talk about the environment, for example. But the good thing is the essay type related vocabulary stays the same. So once you learn the right phrases for each essay type, you can use them across multiple topics. So when you want to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of any topic, you can use positives, benefits, upsides, pros, and you can also use drawbacks, downsides, negatives, regardless of the topic of the essay. That means if you master just 6 groups of high-level vocabulary, because we have 6 types of essays, you will be ready to impress the examiner in any situation, regardless of the topic of the essay. Now, of course, learning topic-related words will boost your score even more. But in the worst-case scenario, this technique alone can save your score. So do not just memorize random words. I want you to memorize smart, memorize by category, memorize for impact. That's how you turn vocabulary into your secret weapon. Lovely, lovely. Now, let me just summarize the points that I mentioned so they stick in your mind. Technique number 1, I told you to focus on generating ideas. And that was step number 0, correct? Technique number 2, practice writing the same essay type again and again and again. Because I told you, repetition is magic. Technique number 3, read, memorize, and imitate high-scoring essays. And technique number 4, I told you to memorize high-level vocabulary, smart, not hard, by memorizing the vocabulary that are related to the essay type. That's because IELTS writing is not about being a genius, it's about studying smart. Follow these 4 techniques and you will stop feeling confused and you will start to feel more confident. You don't need more talent, you need more technique. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and comment which writing tip are you going to use first. And do not forget to subscribe, which helps me keep creating similar content that helps you grow and improve. Until next time, I will see you in the next video.